What's cracking, big dogs? You are hearing my voice today on Wednesday, whatever day it is. What is it, fucking March 10th? Normally you'd be hearing, some of you guys probably don't even know who the fuck I am, to be honest, which is a testament to Mike and Noah's work on this channel and bringing you guys over as subscribers. I'm Nick. Kind of started this whole big dog shit. Bunkbed Breakdowns is a YouTube channel under the Big Dogs umbrella. And Wednesdays, for a long time, Bunkbed Breakdowns was started between myself and Noah first because he was in college at the time, and you guys used to shit on him for having a bunk bed in his background. And then I brought Mike on as a Dynasty content creator, and then it was the three of us, and then I kind of dipped off and let them two do their things. And there will not be a Wednesday show going forward between Noah and Mike. And I wanted to come on here so y'all hear it straight from the Hefe's mouth to clear the air, because I know there's going to be some weird conspiracies and shit going on about some shit behind the scenes or some kind of beef or whatever. I'm going to break the situation down to y'all clearly, plainly, simply, so there's no confusion to be had here, okay? We value authenticity and we value transparency with you guys, and that's what I will always try to bring, for better or worse, okay? Sometimes most of the time it fucking hurts my business, but I'd rather be open with you guys so I don't have to lie down the road. So basically, here's what happened. I'll preface with this. Mike and Noah, both very much still under Big Dogs. Both will continue to create content under Bunkbed Breakdowns. Everyone's cool. Something did kind of happen over the last week or two within the team that should probably get some more explanation. As we start to approach the offseason this year and all the off seasons, we start to create the Big Dogs Dynasty Draft Guide, the Dynasty Rookie Draft Guide, right? And last year, myself, Noah, and Mike worked on it. And I think this will be the third year we created it, maybe, whatever. Regardless, I texted Noah and Mike in the group chat, and I was like, yo, we're starting to put together the draft guide. We are going to be updating all of our rankings. I wanted to make sure everyone had the rankings up to date. I think I hit them up on like a Thursday or Friday. I was like, by end of weekend, let's get all this shit done. Let's get all this shit going and make sure we have rankings, right? Just by end of the weekend. Get those over to me. I think Noah answered, and he was like, okay. And then Sunday hit. I think Noah was like, I'm good to go. I didn't hear anything from Mike. And then he texted me, I want to say Monday or Tuesday, a day later or whatever. Not a big deal. And he was like, yo, sorry, I didn't get around to getting you the rankings. I'd been working on the rankings behind the scenes, but I hate using fucking Fantasy Pros, which is what is what every kind of person in the industry has to use. Unfortunately, it's not shitty. It's a good free resource to make rankings, but not very customizable, not very aesthetically pleasing. And Mike's like, I've been working hard behind the scenes, like putting my rankings together via like Google Sheets, and I've been integrating like Devi shit. So it doesn't exactly fit with what we have, because you put all the rankings together as a team onto the table, and you could embed that right to the website, which is what we do for our Dynasty Draft Guide. Mike was like, sorry, I didn't get the rankings to you. I'm actually thinking about starting my own Patreon and Discord and whatever, and like only allowing people to get it through there. And that kind of took me back a little bit. Like some of you guys might have been following this kind of like a little bit of a storyline up to this point, because I talked about it with Steve on Why You Yelling. So you knew that, when Mike said that to me, at first I was like, okay, this is, it's a little odd. But like, okay, let me kind of hear him out and see, where his mind's at, or like the logistics behind it. So we had gotten on a call, and he had kind of told me, what he was thinking, and that his ranking stuff would not be available via the Dynasty Draft Guide. And this is not a problem. This is not a problem for me per se, in terms of like, listen, I could care less if all of you guys shifted over from our Patreon or our Discord over to Mike's. It's not about like competition. It's not about money. But what we stand for at Big Dogs is a team mentality, right? Like we've built this hand fucking woven, your mother in the kitchen, homegrown type of shit over here. And we're all 100% ride or die for the brand. And I'm not saying Mike's not, but the way I felt like he approached it was a little bit individualistic at the time, and I don't think he did this with the intention of like going against us whatsoever. Mike's been, one of the biggest supporters of Big Dogs since we started this whole shit, And he continues to be, obviously, and he does a lot of content for us, and he works very, very hard, and I respect his work ethic and the content he puts out for us, of course. So when he did that, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, you're taking away some of our audience or our competition or our money. It had nothing to do with that. It was more so like, if you saw a gap or a flaw or something in the Big Dogs brand or the community, why don't we try to fix that? Like, at the end of the day, we're trying to grow this fucking thing into the spaceship that we can launch it to fucking Venus. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't necessarily take it personally. I just took it as a natural fucking human would. I was like, oh, this seems like it's going against what we're building as we come together. Like, Snacks and Animal have been my childhood friends since we were fucking, Animal recently, probably the last 5 years or so, but Snacks, I've known Snacks since we were, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, whatever. Scott and Noah have been working with me for the last few years, probably 3-4 years at this point. And Mike's the newest one of the team, basically. So him doing this, I'm okay with. I talked to Steve, and he's like, that's kind of weird. Like, you should kind of hit up Mike and see, what his angle is, what his long-term play is. Because when you start separating the two communities, when you have, the Big Dogs community, which we're all kind of working towards putting together, and then you have Mike's, Wolfpack, his Discord and his rankings and his community, it's like a railroad kind of going on different tracks. Eventually, it's going to be really hard to put those two things back together. Sorry, I just got a text. So I started thinking more about it. Like, to be honest, at first, it wasn't a big deal to me, but I have people that I surround myself with that I think have myself and the brand in the best interest of their mind. And when they're like, you should look into this a little more, I was like, okay. So I hit up Mike, and I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm actually feeling a little bit weird about the way you're going about this and kind of branching off. And we had talked through it, and it came away like peacefully, and it came away fine. And then I had talked to some other members of the team, and they're all like, yo, this is kind of fucked up because this is something that we've all helped build as a brand. And then he's kind of using that platform that we've provided, in a sense, to go out and build his own community within our community, right? Again, like, I really need to get this point across. It's nothing to do with like money or not paying. It's like, if that was a concern, obviously we want to fix that and we want to settle that. Like, come to me with that. But it was like the lack of wanting to build it within the Big Dogs community, which rubbed a lot of the team members the wrong way. So once I started hearing it from some of the other guys on the team, I was like, okay, this could present itself as a little bit of a problem going forward. So I hit up Mike. I'm filming this on Monday night. This is going out Wednesday morning. So I hit up Mike today, Monday. I was like, yo, listen, again, because what had happened was he started doing the Market Watch Monday videos on the Bunkbed Breakdown channel, and he was promoting his Patreon, he was promoting his Discord, which again is, of course, is like direct competition with what we're building here at Big Dogs. And the first one went out, and I was like, okay, like, just let him kind of get started and let him get going and ramp up, and then the rest will be Big Dogs focused. And then the second one came out today, or Monday, 3 days ago, and it was the same thing. It was, promoting his stuff, and it is his content. And again, I respect the platform and the work ethic that he puts into his shit, and I do want him to succeed for sure. But I look at the other team members who are not okay with this, and it's no one like specifically. It was kind of like a group thing, to be honest. And just like, I know the amount of work that like Noah's put into this, and then Mike's kind of using that platform that other people have helped build to promote his personal shit rather than the brand, when everybody else is very brand focused. Like, everyone else is trying to ride this thing out completely and fully and 100% invested into the brand as the greater good, in a sense. And when I had approached Mike about that, I was like, listen, thinking about it more, I'm not cool with you promoting your own shit on one of our channels that we built as a team, that we built as a family. Because I love these dudes, man, and I've built this as a family together. So this might be coming off a little more serious than it sounds, but like, this is one of the first internal problems that we've really had as a brand. And I said that to Mike, and he was like, listen, I don't want this to sound like this is 20 minutes of me shitting on Mike whatsoever. Mike was like, dude, I'm so sorry. He's like completely understanding. Like, I absolutely know where you're coming from. That was my bad, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I'll take this shit down immediately. And it wasn't like that serious, but Mike was like, I would never do anything to like compromise the brand or go against the brand or whatever. And I understood where he was coming from. He's not someone who likes to ask for things, basically. So like helping out with the draft guide, and he wants to be more involved in the business side of things. And he's kind of someone who's silent on that part. And I respect that because I'm kind of like that as well. Like I do my work and I do my content, I do whatever it is. And if I don't get the acknowledgement for it, it's not like I'm going to go out of my way to try to get it. It's more so like I keep working or I do my own thing and I fend for myself. And he didn't want to like continually ask me for things, which again, I can absolutely relate to. So basically where that leaves us today is just that we had that talk today. He understands and he's like, listen, I'm Big Dogs focused. I'm Big Dogs related. It's obviously going to keep putting out killer content for Market Watch Monday and the other stuff that he has in the works. And I want him to continue to, it's the reason I give these people the platform, because I want them to build their own personal brand under Big Dogs. And it makes us all, you know, a rising tide. A rising tide is basically the theme here for the Big Dogs. And then the Noah and Mike video not happening today or not happening going forward is completely unrelated to this. Completely unrelated to this whole, whatever you want to call it, drama, whatever the fuck it is. This is because, like, if you guys have been following Bunkbed Breakdowns, if you guys have been watching these two kind of build themselves up as creators, I see it from my point of view, someone who's been doing this for 5 or 6 years. I see a lot of me in both of them in that they work fantastic individually. A lot of people find it hard to do solo videos or do videos just like this. This is when I'm most comfortable. I find it difficult to do multi-person videos. I find it difficult to do calls over Zoom. I find it difficult to do videos and content with other people, to be honest with you. This is my most comfortable thing, and I see that in their stuff. Like, I watch their individual shit, and to be honest, it's a lot better than when they're doing it together. And it was always like that. It was better. Their individual stuff is better than when myself and them two were on it together as well. And the reason is because they're losing a little bit more passion for some of the stuff that they would do together because they're so passionate about the individual shit they're doing. Like, Noah's really getting into the NBA Top Shot stuff. Mike is really into doing his research and making sure he's coming correct for the Market Watch Monday stuff. And like, this is not taking away from that. This is, I want them to focus on their strengths rather than their weaknesses. So I said, listen, like, rather than me forcing you to do the Wednesday video, would you guys rather have that flexibility to do whatever you want on the Wednesday, Thursday shows and like follow your passions in that sense? I always talk about not putting yourself in a box. Like, I would hate if I was forced to do a video that I could just tell the passion wasn't really there from them too, and it felt more like a chore. And I'm like, I don't ever want to put someone in the position where they have to do that. They have to do a certain thing because they feel like that's what's best for, you know, that's what's best for what Nick said or for the brand or whatever. Like, I want this to be an open experience where people can be creative. Okay. So they're not going to be doing the weekly Bunkbed Breakdowns video together anymore. I think once like the draft happens, they will be doing some on and off, maybe bi-weekly or some shit like that. But I want to say, like, Noah's going to be doing a lot of NBA Top Shot stuff. I think he's going to be doing a lot more like Discord discussions where he actually brings a few of you guys on to the video and you guys do like a call with him. He'll bring on like 2 or 3 people from the Discord channel. And then Mike I think wants to do the Market Watch Monday thing like he normally does, and then also have like an interview. So almost like 2 deep dives like he did with Bean Counter a couple weeks ago. So do one of those a week and also Market Watch Monday. And I'm like, listen, those are their best pieces of content, the shit that they put their heart and soul into and like can work on that stuff when they're most creative is when we're going to get the best product and get the best personality out of those guys. So I brought it up and I think they both kind of agreed with that, and we'll kind of go from there. So this is just, I guess, another State of the Union. I've had to do a lot of these. Listen, I'm learning as someone who's not only relatively young and inexperienced in the business world, but working with friends and working with people that I have personal relationships with. So I obviously know I'm going to fuck things up, and I know I'm not doing everything right, but I'm trying my best to make sure that I don't fucking steer this ship into an iceberg. And I think I do that by investing into people and making sure that first and foremost, they are happy. A lot of the times it's difficult for me to do that because I do have these blinders on where I'm looking long term, and I realize a lot of these guys are working in the very short term and intermediate because that's the only stuff that they can work on. If I'm not allowing them to help shape the business in a long-term vision sense, then the only stuff left for them is here. And when I put my blinders on, I don't see that stuff. So things can get a little bit murky. Things can get a little bit mucky for me here. So I just figured I would address you guys rather than have some weird fucking stigma sitting in the middle. Again, just to summarize, we on the Big Dogs team, myself and some of the team members, felt a little weird about the way Mike kind of did that. As soon as I told Mike, he was like, my bad, dude. Like, I didn't The intention was not there to branch off or compete with the brand or anything like that. I think it was completely harmless. So no hard feelings there whatsoever. He's still going to be doing his content weekly for you guys. Noah's going to be doing his content weekly for you guys. Nothing bad there, but no more Wednesday bunk bed breakdowns for the time being. Maybe we'll figure something out where someone else comes on and does it, whatever the fucking case may be. So thank y'all for listening. If you have any further questions, comments, stories, plots, crypto punks you want to share, any conspiracy theories, now would be the time to drop them, and now would be the time for me to fucking yell at you in the comments. Okay. I love y'all. I'm out.